is good? What is good? What is good, everybody? How are we doing tonight? Again, the beard's back. I can't help it. You know, I guess this is my calling to be a podcast engineer and throw it all off. But Lars coming in. Wow, again, I really need to turn off these notifications. Yeah, man, we appreciate you being here and greatly appreciate it. But do we have a show for you tonight? I'm going to introduce my co-host tonight and special guest tonight on that, by the way. So let's go ahead and bring this person in. How are we doing tonight?
Hey, what's good? What's good from Ottawa? Good to see you, Bodie. You're looking as handsome as ever.
Trying to here, but you know, it doesn't suit me very well. I like my normal street clothes, but hey, do what you got to do.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for having me. I guess I'm tonight's special guest host, and we have an amazing DJ, producer, just a great personality. He's a radio host and a great personal friend of mine. I'm going to introduce him in just a second. I just wanted to say, in honor of Black History Month, we're going to be taking a little bit of a deep dive tonight, getting to know him, as well as I feel like a lot of people in the tech community, if I could be so bold to assume, I feel like a lot of us are artists, musicians, and that's what kind of helps us bring that passion and that creativity to the technical side of what we do. Yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. I see everyone is vibing out in the chat for sure. Hit us up. So, Majic Mike, he's the CEO of Majic Productions, and he hosts the Majic Deluxe Hour or Magic Show Deluxe. Something like that. Anyways, he'll let you know what it's all about. He's kind of been around for about a decade when digital radio started coming into Canada. Again, I don't want to share his story too much. So, without further ado, Bodie, why don't we bring him out and he can say hello to everybody.
Let's go.
Hello. How y'all doing?
Hey.
Good. Hey.
Thanks so much for coming.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. You and Bodie, Disa.
Absolutely.
I got your name right.
Yes. You got a one up on Omar.
Yeah, I was going to say, everybody in the chat already knows this ongoing rib that we have with the lovely founder of AVE Educate here. Can't pronounce the name to save his life.
I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. How's it going? I'm located here in Ottawa, Canada, just like Disa, and it's snowing outside. We're having a blizzard.
Yeah, it's like up to
my. If it makes you feel any better, it's 72 degrees here.
Oh, where are you?
Florida.
Come on. You got the palm trees and coconut trees? I got the shirt for it.
It's not all palm trees and coconut trees as everybody thinks,
Well, you're up north? You're northern Florida?
We are right now, yeah. We're in North Florida now.
Well, if you're more down towards like Miami and Orlando and them places, it starts to get a little bit more tropical. But at least you're in some warm weather.
Because we're in Orlando right now, and I don't know about those coconut palm trees and beaches that everybody talks about here.
Okay. So I guess it's just in the movies, huh?
Yes. But let's go ahead and get into everything with you. So
thanks so much for being here.
How did you get involved in everything that you're involved in? I heard Disa go on about all the accomplishments that you've achieved.
Yeah, I've achieved quite a bit of things, and there's a lot more I want to achieve because as we go on through life, we want to achieve more. But I've always been in, music. I've always listened to music. My parents had the radio on all day. When I go to school, they go to work. We come back, the radio's still on. For some reason, it was always on. So I was always hearing music in the 80s. I grew up in the 80s and into the 90s, and hip hop was introduced to me, and from there, music just took me to another level.
I love it. And, I have to ask you, you mentioned before asking you, where did you get your name from, Majic Mike?
Well, a lot of people assume I got it from the movie Majic Mike, on the pole type of thing, right? But no, actually,
I might have been joking about that today. What kind of show is this?
Yeah. Well, what happened is because I got into music production, about 20-something years now. And I was always on the boards, because back then it was all analog Tascam board. And, every time I hit the boards, it's like, Mike, it's like magic. You create these tracks, you help us get the music out. And it stuck with me. And I'm like, okay, Majic Mike, I like that. And we just continued with that name till present time.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And when I first started introducing you, I had talked about, almost a decade you've been in radio. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got your start here?
So I was doing mixtapes. You know how it was in, say, about 2010, and a lot of mixtapes were out. And, I was a DJ just doing that. I was still producing a couple artists because I'm into engineering too as well and beat making. And I was in a Facebook group. I dropped my mixtape. It's called The Cyborg. That's only on Hulkshare. So I don't know if Hulkshare is still around. Go to Hulkshare and type out Majic Mike Cyborg 2 and Cyborg 1. So the Cyborg 1, we put it out and I dropped it in a Facebook group. And somebody hit me up from Ohio. And he was like, did you want to be on radio? And I was like, what? Radio in my own city is no radio, digital radio. I didn't know what it was. And 2012, nobody in Canada, as far as I know, was doing digital radio. It was all new. We even had commercials that were telling people that, we got the rights to play the music. Now people just play the music as they feel like it. Back then, you had to have commercials and certain copyrights and things of that nature. So I got into it, had my first show September of 2012 on colacoast.com, and it was something else. To tell you the truth, we only had about 5 listeners at the time, okay? Because back then, digital radio was new. You didn't have the algorithms,
Yeah.
So that's the first show, right? And then it just picked up, as I got along, and I started getting really big here in Ottawa. And people were telling me you should put that on FM radio. So years went by, and there was this contest from Jump FM here in Ottawa. Big ups to Tony Starks, great, wonderful man he is. So they had a competition, right? Who could be the best co-host, right? So I came in top 20. You had to drop a YouTube video saying, why do you deserve to be, Tony Starks' co-host?
Yeah.
But I came in top 30, top 20. And I called Tony and I said, look at all the information I gave you. And he's like, well, it's not me who's running it, but I could tell you what, you should try out one of those college stations, and maybe in a couple months, I'll have you come back here, right? So, I called one station. They said they weren't looking for people. And I called another one, and I jumped on FM radio, went over there, did a little bit of CD filing, CD labeling. Mm-hmm. And they said, you're already doing digital radio. I said, yeah. They're like, did you want to jump on right now? So when they said jump on right,
oh, sure.
Yeah, well, no, it was a test, because if I didn't want to jump on right now, well, there's no point of him being around here, like stacking CDs, right? So it was on a Friday at 2:00. I jumped on with Axel, big ups to Axel, never forget him, and we just spawned it. So every Friday from 2 to 3, it was on CHUO 89.1, So I did 5 years there. As far as the digital, I got so involved with the FM, and I didn't know, man, if I would have known how far digital radio's come from then to now, I would have never let go. But there was just so much work, I'm learning how to work boards at an FM station. Then I got to go home and do my Thursday show, Thursdays from 8 to 10. That was on the internet station. And then I was dealing with other artists that I was producing. It was just a lot of work. Yeah. It wasn't like today. It wasn't like today with all this technology where you could just, everything's done from a cell phone. You have to be at a computer. You have to do this.
You're on a cell phone right now. Streaming.
Yeah, exactly. Back in the day, we'd be on a laptop or a PC, and it'd be all like I'm moving like this, all slow and right, the buffering. So exactly. So you might as well just say I graduated from there, but my digital infrastructure. So during the COVID, things got rough in the radio business, right? Mm-hmm. Just in the music business in general, right? So, I started seeing people doing their Zoom interviews, and my Zoom interviews became like literally movies, right? So I had to move on to the next level. So my digital infrastructure, so I left, so basically from 2015 of September, crazy, every September, it's like a ritual, right? So September of 2015, I got on FM, right? And 2016, I said I had to drop the digital, it's just way too much work. And I came into 2020 in October, and I just literally graduated. The laws of nature, the laws of the universe said it's time for you to move on. But as I headed into October, my digital infrastructure, the Zoom interviews, my things on Mixcloud, if you go to mixcloud.com, type up Majic with a J, Majic Mike, you can see all my interviews. A lot of them I've done from 2012 to present time. But when I was on FM, I used their platform. I didn't put everything on mine, right? So So my digital infrastructure got huge, and people in my city, Ottawa, they were telling me like, look at all the artists you're getting. Like even when you're on FM, I interviewed a lot of people. I'm not some guy who interviewed basement rappers who are nobody. I've interviewed classic artists from 2012 to present time, and independent artists and local Canadian artists, and anybody who's got talent to show. Disa knows that was an incredible show, hey Disa? Performed live and everything. So everybody was saying you need to come back on FM here. We really, really miss you, you know? And I'm going to tell you a story right now. I didn't want to go back on FM because I already did my time, and the digitals take off so much. Most of the people listening to me now on FM are listening to other phones or on their computer. I'm like, what's the point of me jumping back on FM? Y'all are still on computer, right? The joys of hearing it digital, analog with that static, you know, like we missed that. So just to get the long story short, so yeah, I came back to FM radio. I'm on 93.1 CKCU. It's Carleton University. There's a lot of freedom there, right? I did talk to major radio stations here in Ottawa, you know, at the time where I you know, like when I left FM, I was like, you know, let's see what's going on here. So November, December, I called a couple big stations. They know who I am here in the city. And they were saying to me that, Mike, we want you to come here, but it's going to be very boring here for you. We know the interviews you do. We know you like to excite the audience, but all you're going to do, we're going to call you at 11 o'clock at night, maybe around dinner time, and play Phil Collins and stuff. Like you're not going to be able to play your artists or anything. So you sit back and you think about that and you let us know, right? Yeah. So I got so into my digital networking, and then I was talking to this young lady. Her whole building was listening to me on FM. She's like, oh my God, I seen her at the Walmart. She's like, oh my God, where are you? Like I sat there for a month thinking you're on vacation, but you never came back. And I go, yeah. The look she had in her eyes were teary.
Aww.
Okay. And she was saying, Mike, you really made my Fridays, okay? Like I really need you to come back. And just family was saying the same thing. And you know, people have purposes here on earth, and that's just one of my purposes. People see it. So now we're back on. We're on Wednesdays, 12 o'clock at lunchtime, at noon. So literally you're in the middle, Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern time zone. So literally you're in the middle of the week, dead center. If you had like a pyramid or something, right? Wednesday at 12 o'clock noon is literally the middle of the week. There was absolutely nothing on the radio but news, okay, at 12 o'clock and music rotation. So we're being looked at a lot, right? So I thank God, and I thank people like Disa and Bodie and everybody and all my, you know, people that, you know, respect and support Majic Productions. I thank you guys, because without you, this would not be possible. So, yeah, that was just a big adventure. I can't believe I'm back on FM again, and it's just on a perfect time. And I still have my digital networking. I have a show called Magic. So the show I have now on FM is called the Magic Show Deluxe. Okay, and that's my Mixcloud at the bottom. There's my link for all the chat. That up for you. I haven't been, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been promoting that. I just let it sit there, and I just tell people, hey, if you want to go listen, you listen, right? But it's time to get in gear now, because I just been busy with the transition. But as far as the digital, right, I have a show called The Magic Show, and on FM it's called Magic Show Deluxe. So The Magic Show is on Live 89 FM. We were on a Southern station too as well, but we had to go back to our original way we're doing things, right? And that's on Fridays from 2 to 4 p.m. on Live 89 FM. You can download the app directly to your phone, or you go to their website, www.live89fm.com. So most devices now, TVs, fridges, could download apps and listen to in your car. It's crazy now, right? Oh. And then it repeats again on Saturday from 12 to 2. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we got a TV show we're working on, syndicated, and that's what we're doing right now. As far as achievements, yeah, like I've been in this game quite a while in this hip hop thing, but it's just, you know, after, you know, year 2000, I started taking it seriously, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I had some ups and downs too as well. You know, I got out of the business from, 2003 to 2008. So there was a time span where I didn't want to do anything with music just for personal reasons. Oh, wow. And I got back into music because someone asked me to do mastering at their $1 million studio here in Ottawa on Bank in Alta Vista, right? So I was just doing mastering, wasn't even mixing or anything like that. you know. And then I went back into mixing, and and now we're into the radio. People tell me you should get back into production because you know a lot of artists, and I did do a couple projects with 2-3 people here and there, but Majic Mike's in the radio world right now, the media world.
And what I really admire about what you do, Majic Mike, is obviously your personality. You're super engaging. Even just now, I feel like Bodhi.
Oh, really? Thank you. I'm in your homes.
But I really love that. I feel like so much of radio has lost the authenticity that a radio DJ used to find original music, and bring that music to the people. You were kind of like an outlet to share that. And I feel like so much of that is lost.
Mm-hmm. Well, you see, I'll take what Funkmaster Flex said, because I've always said this, right? When Spotify came about and YouTube. See, it's not my job but it's not my job to premiere your track. This is not like back in the 90s and early 2000s. I got to play your song and you need me, guys. You got to do what I say. Kids nowadays, they got TikTok breaking tracks. They got Spotify breaking tracks, things of that nature. Right?
They got breaking tracks.
They got you breaking tracks. They got Bodhi breaking tracks, because you getting artists on here, probably all kinds of people, right? So it's not about breaking tracks now. It's about bringing the artists out, making them look like a star, making them notice, right? So if you got a platform that you've been building for years, you got the audience and people know you. When you bring these people out, you're bringing them out, So that's how I see it. I don't mind featuring a track and say, hey, if he says, hey, nobody else has it, Majic, can you play it? I'll say, yeah, brand new track, straight off the press, and boom. And another thing too, a lot of DJs and radio hosts, they lost that personality.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Like, I'm not like, see, when I jump in the chair, if I'm in the studio or home or whatever, when I jump in the chair, something takes over, right? It's not an acting job. It just comes out, right? And that's what we're missing here, right? Even in television, it's all the same thing over and over again. College radio, where it used to be to play new artists, it still is, if you got the right format.
Telling it like it is.
It's almost networking. It goes back to the whole networking situation. So like you mentioned TikTok and Spotify and things like that. With TikTok, I don't know how much you pay attention to TikTok, but I'm into a lot of metal rock. And there was an artist that actually, he is an artist because he's phenomenal. He did a remix of Papa Roach's Getting Away with Murder song. And Papa Roach actually found it on TikTok, brought that dude into his studio, and actually made a whole remix of his style for their song and put it on their album. And
incredible.
Like you said, nobody knew who this cat was before TikTok was even made. He just did a rendition of a song, a remix of a song that he felt it sounded good, and it sounded great. I mean, and now he's working with the likes of Falling in Reverse, Jacoby Jones's Silent Project, and he's working with another artist. It was Falling in Reverse, Jacoby Jones Special Project, which is also Papa Roach, and he's also working with Corpse Bride to do remixes for them. So it's all that networking that you're talking about. It's not like, hey, DJ, play my track now. It's come here, watch it, hear it, listen to it. What does it sound like? You like it, and then it goes viral.
And another thing DJs could do and hosts is like grab, the artist's social media and share it.
Yes.
Share their single, put it in your storyline and Instagram. So I'm going to go back to what one of the people viewing, one of the comments they said about college radio. So this is how I say it. If you run your program like a college radio and you're only one-minded and one-dimensional too, well, these days you're not going to survive. No one's listening to you. Why am I going to listen to you playing whatever, right? Meanwhile, I got Spotify and all that. Okay, the person that's playing the music has to have that energy to bring them there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing right now. So it's not just about playing music; it's about sharing the artist's stuff and being supportive of all the artists. And and at the end of the day, some people do it for money, some people do it for the art. We're just trying to keep this thing alive, regardless of what you want to do. What's that?
He brings a very good point.
But what are the odds? What are the odds? What are the odds of what?
I'm assuming he's building off of what I said about the whole being discovered off TikTok and now doing stuff like that. Again, not to take away from our guest tonight. I'll tell you, because I am a Twitch streamer and I've been doing it for about 1.5 years now. Went full time about 1.5 months ago.
Full time?
I'm full time, Monday through Friday. I stream
Nice.
I stream 8 a.m., 8-ish a.m. to 2-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
They got Twitch on TVs now. When you buy
got
brand new TVs,
everywhere.
Twitch comes with your TV. Yeah.
But with anything that comes to networking or TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or any of those, Spotify, anything, it's all about, can you hold the attention as a content creator? Okay. And the second part to it is there is a lottery system. And what I mean by a lottery system is if you get that one in a million shot, it's no different than going to play in your local lottery and winning millions, because that's what it is. You're on that platform. If your content's good enough and that one person that matters sees it, it's over.
Yep.
It's over. You'll catapult into a whole nother level.
Yep.
Not like, again, not to take away from our guest tonight, but like for my Twitch channel, 2 weeks of live streaming, I got wrapped up in this game called Valheim. Okay.
Yep, I heard about it.
It's a huge game right now. They went literally from selling 400,000 copies February 2nd to now we're February 24th, they sold 4 million.
Oh yeah. Of course.
Okay. So 4 million copies of a game like this. And I got approached by the devs to help them with the back end of the game.
Oh.
So granted, that helps my channel in the long run, but doesn't help it in the intermediate. But you know what? That odd is there that if I do it right, I could catapult into something different. And that's what it is. It's all about that's where the networking comes from. The odds are, as Hunger Games will say, forever in your favor, and you hope you can find the right odd that makes it for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I was at, a family's house and I was on their TV. Me, I don't care for TV. Like whatever I want to watch, it's on my phone, tablet, my computer. The little TV I got here, I don't even barely turn it on. But I was at someone's house to show me their brand new TV. And I was like, can you believe this? Every app on my phone is on this TV. You know what I mean? There's no need for cable.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no need for cable. Right now on Facebook, there's Facebook on people's TV. It's called Facebook Video or something, right? And when you click onto the app on your television, it doesn't look like Facebook. It looks like a whole different layout. You know what I mean? So this whole thing that we just shared, the event, it probably come up on their feed. They click onto it. It looks like a TV show. I think Will Smith had a TV show dedicated to Facebook. Sorry, go ahead, Daisa.
I got it going right now. Our Facebook feed. It looks great. It definitely.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
People in their homes on their leather couches.
Sorry, say that again?
No, people are in their homes on their leather couches watching. It's guaranteed, some of them.
Yeah.
Or will be watching after it's done.
100%.
Which you can find us right here on this page on Facebook.com or over on our YouTube page at AVE Educate as well. It's all there.
Yeah. So I'm interested to hear a little bit more about your heritage. You did mention that your nationality is Jamaican. Can you share a little bit more with us, Majic Mike?
Yeah, so my parents came here in the 70s. And, I was born here and, I got a brother too. He was born. I got brothers and sisters that were born in Jamaica, right? That came up eventually. But, me and my brother were born here. And, we grew up in the south end of Ottawa. It was a great upbringing. Obviously you had your difficulties here and there. Parents try their best. Kids, they do what they got to do, right? But it was a great upbringing. We had our family values. Sundays we had our meals. We had chicken or we had curry chicken. Oxtail and things of that nature. And Saturdays, things of that nature. Go back to Jamaica a lot of times in my life to see family. I got family out in New York, family in England, family in Arkansas, all over the place, right? So, but we all originated from Jamaica, my family. They came, so my grandparents had 12 kids, right? And a few of them stayed in Jamaica to make a life. and the rest of them went out to different parts, you know, to make. Well, it's a country family. Like my mom's side of the family, they were in, you know, Salt River, Spanish Town area. You know what I mean? And Maypen and them places, right? That's way out, and that's countryside. So when you're out there, you want to have kids to help out with the family. You know, we had goats and, you know, fruits and, you know, just we had it great. You know, I came from a good family because they went to school and things like that. But on my dad's side, it's a whole nother level. You know what I mean? So, you know, both educated people. You know, my dad worked as a mechanic, and later on he had a trucking company. And my mom worked for the government for, 35 years, close to 40 years, something like 35 years.
Yeah,
for
this
the
is
Canadian
a
government.
government town here in Ottawa. Everyone works.
Yes,
for
it is.
Or their partner works for the government.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, and like I said, we had the radio on all day, and you know, just got the liking to it. I had a bunch of records, 7 inches and 45s, but it was all like 80s stuff. And then a record store opened up in where I lived, a small little shop, and I went in there. I saw the Fat Boys, Run DMC. Like, I saw all the records, but again, you know, I couldn't get that. You know, you're young, and your mom's like, "What do you want that for?" You know, just. But there was like a little 45 7 inch, and it was Fat Boys. One side it was Wipeout, the other side was Crushing. So that was bought for me for some reason, and I played the heck out of that. You know, so that's how it kind of got into hip hop. But before then, in my project, people were breakdancing on cardboards back in '84. So yeah, it's always been, you know, part of my life, this whole urban thing, you know?
Totally. Yeah. You know, what's so cool is, you know, part of what I wanted to talk about tonight was music itself, right? So, you know, doing some Google research, I found out R&B originated in the 40s. Hip hop originated predominantly as a kind of African-American music for the economically depressed in the South Bronx in New York City. And that was kind of in the 1970s. And then it became a lot more widespread, obviously, in the 80s.
I'll tell you that migration. So like I said, my parents came up here in the 70s. So there's a huge migration of people from the Caribbean, not just Jamaica, just into New York, Toronto, Ottawa, things of that nature, right? And, you know, the founder of hip hop was Kool Herc. You know, he's actually from Jamaica. And the whole battling of sound systems, you know what I mean? Where, you know, DJs, right? Okay, aren't the DJs called DJs that are scratching a record in Jamaica. It's the MC. They're called DJs, chanting, you know?
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, you know, they chant different, you know, territories, different squads. They have their own chanting. They come together at clubs. They do battling, right? So this is going on back in the 50s and 60s. I saw a picture. Okay, a friend of mine, like he's Jamaican. His parents are so into reggae. They had, I don't even remember the name of this, but they had a record. And it was a guy with a wheelbarrow, like an ice cream wheelbarrow, where back then they served ice cream and they played music. That's where the sound systems back then. So he had a big ice cream thing with a big horn. Back then, it was no speaker. It was like a horn. Then he had his little record player. It was insane. I was like, this has got to be the first sound system. My boy's like, it is the first sound. I'm like, what? So from there, he came up to the Bronx, and, you know, with the mixture of African-American music, jazz, and, you know, I forget the other, there was like another form of hip hop, like back in the day in the United States. It wasn't hip hop, but it had that swing. I can't remember it, man. But even that is like a form of hip hop too as well. So everything came together, and this is what we see here today. You know, I just want to sum it up. I don't want to give a history lesson. Like, we're in an interview, right?
Well, you know, the tech community, we are very detail oriented, so we really don't mind.
Okay. So, like, you know, the infrastructure and the color was this.
So a very interesting question that came in is from Randy Regis. How do you use marketing opportunities? Odd for strategic. I don't know if that's supposed to be odd. Might be reading it wrong. But how do you use
strategic advertising effectively in the music industry? So how do I my marketing opportunities in the music industry? Well, you got to put yourself out there. So social media is very important, you know, having people that have a big network as well, sharing your stuff and helping you. Never burn bridges that you don't have to, because let's say you're getting along with the person. You don't want to mess that up. Okay, you want to
That
keep
is 100% key. 100%
you want to go
key.
You want to go forward, keep going. If it's working with you, don't find a fault of something. Just keep going with the system, right? So you want to have good people around you, and your product has to be very good, especially now during COVID. There's just so much, like everybody's doing something, you know. So you definitely got to stand out, you know, too as well. And yeah, and everything has got to look good. Your marketing's got to look good. It's got to look believable. Yeah, and partnering up with bigger companies. I don't know what else. And if you got to be good with, like, if you're doing business with money and things like that, you got to be good with money. If you could trust people with your money, if you're not good with handling money, you got to find the right people that you can trust to be around you to help you get the money, right? And let's say you're making a little bit of cash here and you're having problems after. Well, you know, these aren't the right people. Did you imagine when you start to make millions? So how I run my business is that I have people that work around me, you know, but as far as all the posting and social media, I take care of that, me, right? I don't have anybody handle no social media of mine, like getting my passcodes. They have social media, I give them product and they share it, you know? As far as working with clients, yeah, I've worked with a lot of clients. I got to say, February has been the busiest, you know, this time. This month has been very busy for some reason, very, very busy. And surviving off that, actually. And yeah, it's see, people want to get seen now. Podcasts are huge, right? It totally killed the FM business. Okay, some of the biggest interviews done in 2020, neither it could be TV or it could be radio, were done in someone's basement. Okay, the biggest interviews were done in people's basement through podcasts. So it totally killed the FM game. It really did. I'm seeing it. I'm back on FM, and you know, FM is still in your community very important because people still listen to that, right? But it's how they're listening to it. So you got to realize, you know, everybody's on their phones and people are in their cars still listening to it on their phones. It's like, I know this one guy, I'm like, yo, where are you listening to it right now? I'm in my car. Well, you got, you know, take a video of it. No, I got my phone, bro. As soon as your show's over, I'll switch it back to my Spotify. He goes, everything's linked to my phone. I never turn my tuner on. I've never turned my tuner on in 2 years. So when you're hearing things like that, you got to change with the times, right?
Yeah,
so
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Not a more. Hafez thinks he might know you. Does that name look familiar?
Yeah, do I look familiar? Possibly, my brother. You know, where's he located? Where are you located?
Let's see if
he might. It will take him a few minutes to see us and reply. There's a bit of latency. Yeah. So while we wait on that, that's super cool though. Hey, you gotta love this interactivity, Majic Mike.
Of course. Thank you so much for getting me on, and this is what it is. Absolutely. Now here's a question I want to ask you guys, right?
Sure.
Do you see things going back to the way it is? Because think about it. You're going to have to force your workers to go back into the office, okay? You're going to have to tell people, like, right now, okay, for instance, okay, I'm not saying names. I know somebody in the radio business here in Ottawa, a huge DJ, right? And he was telling me the other day, he goes, I walked back into my studio because I'm so used to being at home. I looked at all this equipment. To me, this equipment is junk. It's garbage. Like this. I go, what do you mean? You got one of the best boards in the freaking Canada. Goes, Mike, man, I'm sitting on my laptop and my stuff at home sounds better than this board. Right? So no, I'm just no. This is a very nice board. This is $60,000 board here. We're not talking about, it's just the way you can make things sound now. You can sit in your home, you could fool around all day. You know what I'm saying? But no, what I'm trying to say is you're not going to be able to force people to go back into the workplace. Okay. And I really believe, I don't think we're going back in. What do you guys think? What's this?
So
I was in Atlanta, $1 million record pool. I'm in DC. You're in DC. Big ups, man. Jack the Ripper, Gibson. Okay, cool, man. I'm gonna look that brother up. I heard something about Jack the Ripper, but big ups to everybody in DC. And I know you're happy Trump's out of there. I'm not with the whole Trump this and Biden this. That's not my business. Yeah. But
time out.
That's not my business. We're up here in Canada, and you know, even when all that stuff was going on down there, I know everybody in the States. I love you to death. I got a lot of friends and family down there. I was paying attention to it, but I was concerned what was going on. I'm watching CBC and I want to find out what's going on up north, and I'm not interested really in that, you know. But a lot of people got mixed up in that type of, you know, all the racism, all the crap, and all the things we're getting fed. Like as you're watching, you're being fed this, and it's making people more angrier. So I just didn't want to see that, you know, and I just didn't want to buy into that type of.
But for me to answer your question, it's kind of like what we talked about prior. I don't see it going back to 100% the way it was personally. That's kind of how most of everybody that's here knows me from maybe Tech Talks on Monday nights. You know, I'm fairly new to the AV industry when it comes to corporate AV and working gigs and things like that. But that's how I was brought in, is because people started doing these live streaming events with Zoom and stuff. But they were putting together these $100,000 racks to run them. And they're like, why do we have to spend so much money to do this? And literally, most everybody knows here, Omar's my brother. I've known him since forever. He calls me because he knows I stream on Twitch with a computer, just a simple computer. And he's like, can you help me? You're able to do a full-length production on your computer with one person. And we usually put on this production with 20 guys, and it still doesn't look as good. It
doesn't look or sound as good. That's what I'm saying.
You know,
that's why.
So that's how I got brought into this, and I don't personally see it going back because people, and I know nobody wants to hear this, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news when it comes to this, but this is the time right now to learn other aspects, and that's what we're here for on Monday nights. Learn other aspects of the industry, because you're going to need to know more than just, I'm an audio guy, I'm a video guy, I know how to run a camera, I know how to do this, I know how to do that. You kind of have to bring it together because you're going to be doing everything on a show. You're going to come in and you're going to be running 8 computers for Zoom calls. You're going to be running another computer for, you know, vMix and callers coming in and presentations and things like that. So it's I don't see it going fully back the way it's coming in, but I do. Obviously, you're going to get your concerts back. Eventually, we will get our full length production concerts back. But I promise you, those concerts won't be just here's 50,000 person auditorium, go play it. No, it's going to be there's 10,000 people here, go play it. By the way, we're also live streaming it here and here, and you can pay-per-view watch it.
Well, I'll tell you this.
See stuff going.
See, here's the thing, okay? If radio's not careful, okay, you could hire 2-3 people for an FM station. That's all you need to be hosts. You know, people can sit at the home, do the voiceover at home. We don't need you here. You know what I mean? Just play music all day and grab people's podcasts. Boom. You don't need it. You know what I mean? And as far as concerts, you're not going to get 50,000. You know what I mean? You're not going to have the 30 tours anymore. You know, it'd be a privilege. You'll probably have this one concert. You got to be, you know, again, vaccinated. You know, you got to be taken care of before you enter these places, right? So a lot of people will be viewing it from their homes, and yeah, you're right. It won't go back to the way it is. It won't. Like guys like us, we hope it won't.
And I get it, and that's why I said I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news when it comes to that, but I just I don't see it being, you know, like I said, I'm a heavy metal fan. I loved anytime Five Finger Death Punch came to Florida, I was there. You know what I mean? Yep. I don't see it being like that anymore. They're going to make one stop in Florida, and they're going to multi-stream it out to different platforms for you to watch, and they're only going to let a limited amount of people in that building to watch them live. You know, Super Bowl, perfect example. Super Bowl usually is a full packed house. You know what they did for the Super Bowl? You paid $100. You can get a cardboard cutout of your image sitting in a seat with a camera on its shoulder.
Wow.
And they sent you a link that you can tap into and watch the game from that seat as if you were sitting there.
You kidding me? And people are buying that?
It was sold out. It was sold. They sold out. I think it was like something like 10, 15 minutes. The entire stadium that had open seats was sold out.
So I might as well, right, get like 50 cameras, right? Set them up here in my living room, right? Like over there in my living room. And, you know, I could do the same thing. You know what I mean? Hey, you want to see me live? Like, I don't know, I'll play the, like, you know, like, you can't go back. Like, people's mindset, like, after 6 months, a human being's mind is altered and changed
Yes.
out of repetitive, broadcasting, or out of like social media. You know what I mean? Like, it's done. It's a done deal. It's a wrap. So you just got to deal with what we got and just go forward with it. And if you're in business right now, music, it's not working out, and you try, there's other adventures. Like, maybe forget about the music. Maybe, stay in the music, but maybe, start managing artists or
That's
something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, because
I'm doing the reverse though. I'm like, okay, I'm finally going to get into my music.
But you're doing it digitally, so you're doing it the right way. That's what he's trying to say, is you're moving into that industry, but you're working on a platform that is more likely to succeed right now. You're not going out and producing 1,000 CDs and trying to sell them. You're on Spotify. No. You're on your own platform doing that. So that's where I'm saying that's what I'm saying is, I think the overall juncture of new age production that's going to be coming down is not going to be, all right, let's pack 30 guys into a studio and put on a full-length production. It's going to be like, we got 5 guys to run this show. You are going to run this, and this. You control this, and that's how it's going to end up being.
You see those $60,000 boards at the FM stations? Like, I'm going to go back to that, right? Like, I don't agree with what he said, right? Like, that equipment is useful. If I could bring all that over here or wherever I'm at when I do my shows, that'd be great. That adds to your digital platform, right? There's nothing wrong, and they should bring back MTV and Much Music. I saw your comment.
Yes, I absolutely think 100% that's what's going to end up happening, is you're going to see MTV and channels like that be reborn to stay alive. That's MTV did literally, I mean, I'm 34 years old. I go back 25 years, and I remember waking up in the morning, turning MTV on, coming home, turning MTV on, listening to music, and watching the music videos. And then all of a sudden it went to this reality TV. And now the way of reality TV is kind of, is kind of going out the window again. And if MTV hopes to stay alive, they're going to have to readopt what made them big.
You see, up here in Canada, it was Much Music, right? So, like, big ups to MTV, but Much Music was our thing, okay? And the same thing happened. Like, we just started seeing more movies. What are movies doing on a music channel? And right before they cut Much Music, because of YouTube killed the game, the videos were starting to get a little interesting. Like, because before Much Music shut down, I was watching Much Music. And the same things I'm watching on my phone, I'm seeing on the big TV. I'm like, this is starting to get a little interesting now. And as it started to get interesting, boom, it's gone. So I think they should really bring back this platform. Okay. Like, so what? Anybody can get a YouTube channel, upload your videos, right? But can you get your stuff on TV, on the big screen, right? You want to talk digital? Let's talk digital, So I think Much Music should bring their platform back. MTV too as well. I think they'll use some of the old ways with the new. They have to.
So we have about 15 minutes left in the podcast, and we do have a couple of questions that I want to get to. So Randy Regis again.
Lighting up.
Yep. Do you have a role model? If so, who and what attributes have you adapted for personal growth of your public image?
Oh, man, that's a good one, right? I have a few of them. I don't want to leave people out, but
a little birdie told me something about Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson? Oh, well, for one of my I was afraid of Thriller, right? I couldn't listen to Thriller when I was a kid. It was just that Vincent Price at the end. Okay, like, I could not listen to that. Like, again, the radio was on all day, and anytime that come on, I block my ears. I go down and want to turn it off. My sister's like, leave that on. Don't turn that off. It's a good song. And I run outside. But sometimes you'd be in the house, and it would just scare the hell out of me, and they got me a Viewmaster. You know what a Viewmaster is, right? So they got the Thriller Viewmaster. That scared the heck out of me too. Now I use Vincent Price's laugh as one of my effects in my show, when I'm spinning, right? So yeah, Michael Jackson is an inspiration too. Again, my mother's a big inspiration. The fact she came here and, she worked very hard, and she's a very, very, very good woman, like, now that I'm older, and, she was definitely inspiration in my life. And just strong figures. Anybody I would meet that was a strong figure that was doing good in life, that would tell me good advice. And I was told by a very good friend of mine when I was young, foolishness. You want to deal with people who are on your level or higher, so you can learn from them. So yeah, that's just basically it. It's whoever I would meet that I would learn from. They become my inspiration. But my mother's my inspiration of all. Very nice lady.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And my family in general, just my whole family. I don't leave nobody out. My family, everybody in my family, everybody. Because, there was only a few of us up here in Canada. Those late night phone calls, I'd hear, they'd be calling Jamaica, the States. Now we got WhatsApp and Zoom in the living room. You should have saw Christmas time. Okay, let's go. Everybody eat at the same time. All right, cut your food at the same time. We're here. Say grace. All right, everybody say grace. What I mean? It was for real,
Happy birthday on Zoom is the most awkward experience.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's why I don't like to, especially now during COVID, you get a lot of messages, people you don't know, happy birthday. And, do you want to, release that message so you can see it? Yeah, it is what it is. I'm a private person, believe it or not. I'm a private person. I only like to put out my entertainment. When it comes to family and things of that nature, I like to keep that, to myself. But go ahead with the other questions. You got a little bit of time. I talk too much. I'm perfect for radio. Yeah.
So Randy, again, he's always great with questions, and I love having him in the chat.
Yes.
What do you think will happen with music producers if we go into that virtual market like we've been talking about?
Well, from what I could see, if you don't have big features, like if you haven't done produced for big people, no one's going to really look at you and get your beats, because people could download free beats off of YouTube, and it's not the way it used to be. Like, you're not guaranteed you own that beat. You could have sold that beat to 3 other people. But what Cardi B been through, right? And all these other rappers, they get a beat. Hey, that's such and such beat. Well, this producer sold to me. Like Cardi B was saying, she gets a folder with her producer. They sit in the studio with her engineer, and she gets 100 beats off one producer. She gets 200 off another. So they're sitting there the whole day listening to almost 1,000 beats, literally, right? They're not going to sit there and say, they're going to ask the producer, okay, did you sell it to nobody? The producer says no. They jump on it, bang it out, get it out to the public, right? Producer gets paid for it, whatever. So as far as producers, I don't really see that going anywhere, because people need production. But you got to be doing, production work with big names. That's, if I know you did production with Fat Joe or Cool G Rap, or I don't know, like Kenny Rogers or something, right? We're going to come see you. I'm not going to go see this person who's done nothing with nobody. So a message to all the producers out there, especially in my city, Ottawa, Canada, okay? Like, we know you could produce, we know you could produce your friends and yourself, but it's just, work with the big names. You know what I mean? Like surprise us. I don't know. I expect more, from people. I know a lot of great producers in Ottawa have worked with big majors, right? I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about, the producers. You got to up your game as far as working with people, and your beats got to be on point. Don't try and sound like somebody else, and that's what I got to say. Production's not going anywhere.
So this is a great point, and I can actually touch on this right here. I think today's music can be better connected to the gaming format. You are 100% right, especially when it comes to DMCA right now. If you can come up with a beat and make it copyright free or sell the rights in cents, there are tons of gamers out there. If you can create masterful beats and musics that keep up with just vibes and things like that, I know tons of streamers who will gladly pay you $5-10 for access to that, even $20-25 for access to that, to have music going in the background of their streams and of their videos and in their lives and stuff. I actually hooked up with a dude, Matt Sharon. I've actually talked to him about trying to get him on here. He produces beats and gives the copyright away. You email him, he sends you a full-fledged notarized letter stating you have rights to use the music.
And all the stems and everything.
Everything.
Okay.
So that
Good.
is actually 100%. Hafez has something else to say, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right. How have you seen the new MPC Beats program?
Yes, I've seen a lot of MPC beats. I remember seeing the SB1200 back in the 90s. So I've seen a lot of machines come and go. It's all computerized now. It just enhances the music. A lot of producers are saying, I'd rather, the old, MPC 1000, I'd rather this. It's just, if you're a producer, you're going to buy what's new, so you're elevating with the game.
Oh, for sure.
But yes, I've seen that. It's a beautiful piece of tool. Me, if I'm going back into production, I use my Akai Mini, right? I use FL Studio, just to let you know. I've used Reason. But as far as multi-tracking, Cubase, yeah, Cubase is my thing, So when you hear the Majic Show Deluxe, right, Dasa knows how clean that is. Big ups to Robbie G.
Yeah, 100%.
And I gotta say, Dasa, our interview with your microphone, though, people, okay. I don't know if you want, I already shared it on my Facebook. So if you're trying to add me on Facebook, or you go to my Facebook page now, just scroll down. Everything is up to the public, and you can see the show Disa was on. She had a wonderful set. We had a great interview, but it's just the fact she came prepared for the Zoom meeting. That microphone sounded like she was right in the studio with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, I experimented with that interview too, the audio, right? I didn't take the Zoom. When you take the audio separate files, you get both stems and you play. I just took everything as one file and I just played with it in that one program, in that one project. So yeah, it came out great. I experimented from that interview, and it's gotten me to do my Zoom interviews, mixing and mastering. The interview's a little better now because of that. Yeah. You come prepared. I tell the person, look, if you're going to be on your laptop with no mic, we'll just do the interview by phone. That's as simple as that. If you don't have a microphone, there's no sense of doing it through Zoom at all.
Yeah, no, it was a great interview, and I really appreciate all the support that you give, especially for Canadian artists. I know
Yes.
Your FM show is looking for, I believe it's 70% Canadian content.
Yeah, it's half and half, right? But I say 70% because, we want to support our local artists. We want to support Friday afternoon, 2 to 4, not Friday nights.
Majic Mike, I think you have a few new fans. Hafez was posting in the chat. I replied to him and I tagged you.
Nice. Thank you so much, everybody.
Facebook, but he's really interested in talking with you more. And I'm so excited that this went over really well, because naturally when I pitched it to the AV Educate community, it's not really super techy, right? It's not super related to our industry, but I feel like it really is. And I think that there's some people here today that are showcasing that, yeah, there's tons of DJs, producers, musicians within our industry. And that's really what draws us towards being, say, a streamer or an audio engineer or something to that effect, right? So
of course, I'm gonna put my email right in the chat. Can I talk in the chat? Yes. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna put my email so anybody can send me
private chat, and we'll post it for you. Don't worry.
Okay. So just send me your music or whatever, and your bio and everything else. I'll take a look at it.
Oh, he just hung up on that.
Oh, okay. Well,
Majic Mike. Oh, he's so silly. Well, on that note, 2 minutes to the hour, Bodie, should we wrap this up?
Yeah. So for everybody that was here, we lost him, but I did drop his email in the chat for anybody that wants to reach out to him or anything like that. He is also Michael Bose, right?
Yes.
On Facebook, so you can reach him there. But yeah, thank you for being here and hosting it with me, Disa. Even though we lost him, very informative. I actually like it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
Doesn't do anything small, that's for sure. But yeah, he's back. Let's
perfect.
There we go.
There you go. Don't type in stream, ladies and gents.
I'll tell you. Okay, guys, I'm on an Android. Yes, get on an iPhone. You're in the music business. You need an iPhone. I'm on an Android, so I click the button. My screen's so sensitive. It just, what, you're on Android too?
Android. No. I'm the opposite of everybody in the audio video industry, probably.
Okay.
I like my PCs and I like my Androids.
I like my Androids too. I'm sorry. Like if I was to go use an iPhone, I'd have to relearn an iOS.
AVE production. I love it. So true.
It is. So you know, guys, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to ask me real quick? My favorite foods?
Oh, you're so heavy. I'm on the bottom now.
And anybody, please hit me up. You know, my Facebook. After this thing is posted, we can watch it after. I'm going to drop my link tree, so you can just go in my link tree and everything's there. Disa, Bowman, thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
StreamYard seems to be very clean here.
Yeah, it's good. It's a great.
It's always a hot topic when I talk about PC versus Apple here. So don't come after me now. No, Iris just said not an Apple fan herself, and Hafez said gamers actually dig Android. I dig Android personally, and this is my personal opinion on anything when it comes to Apple and Android or PC and Apple, Mac. The things that I can do on my Mac are half the price or free, or on my PC are half the price or free. I can build a computer that's 3 times as powerful as the Mac for a quarter of the cost. And my phone, I have rights to do whatever I want. I'm not locked into what Apple thinks I should be able to do with it.
I know, and what is it? And what is it? iTunes. And I forget iTunes the name, because nobody mentions iTunes. It's always Spotify. No one cares about that anymore.
So we'll just leave that one there for everybody to roast on and come at me next Monday on. Next talk, Apple versus Android. Randy, I'm absolutely down for it. If that's ever wanted to be a thing, I have done it on Tech Talks before about building PCs and components in PCs.
Yeah, I still don't know what we talked about.
I don't know how many people actually do, but in the relinquish of time, Mike, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you guys
joining us. I greatly appreciate it, and it's been great. So guys, just real quick before we head out, we are going to thank our sponsor for the show. And again, thank you to Virtual Events for everything they do for us. With that, anytime, Mike, that you think you want to come back maybe and answer some more questions, it seemed very hot topic that a lot of people were really interested in what you do and what you're doing. So we loved having you. Disa, do you have anything else?
No, Bodie, you close us off nicely this evening. And Majic Mike, it's always a pleasure. Always.
Thank you so much. 1 second. Let me get a snapshot, because this is going to be the promo. Hold on. Okay, let me get one more. Different angle. Let me look at the camera. Hold on. Oh yeah, decent nose, man. So go. I'm gonna drop my link tree. All I gotta do is take a snapshot of that. People go nuts. Like, what's this? What's going on here? and then I'm gonna bring people over. I'm gonna take the snapshot in Instagram and then bring them over to the Facebook. But again, right there, anybody's asking about marketing, that's how you market. Snapshot, bring them over, you know? All right, guys, love you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Bowman, thank you. Everybody, love you. Peace.